Welcome, welcome! It's my dog with the TexasSpaceNavy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my videos right off the bat today. I do not have too many videos planned over the next week. I will be out of town. I'll be on vacation. I'm going to be trying to enjoy a week off. I've saved up my PTO for the whole year just for this week, so I'm hoping to live it up. So I hope you guys can forgive me for not getting the content out here. I'll do one more ASMR video for Saturday, but other than that, you probably won't get much from me for the next week or so. With that said, let's talk about today's video. Today's video is the monthly report for August 2021. And I will try to kind of rush through this. There is a lot to unpack here. They've got a lot done during the month of July. So let's go into AI content. They just worked on vendor behavior, similar to bartender behavior. They worked on doctors and nurses. They also started pre-production of outpost, hospital, and patron behaviors. So a lot of AI behaviors are going in. Now, we know that the AI doesn't work the way it's supposed to on the servers, but it works fairly well locally, evidently. Hopefully they will get some of that fixed up here in the next couple of big patches as server meshing becomes more of a thing that comes online. AI feature teams. They reviewed AI FPS combat behaviors. They worked on taunt behaviors for melee combat, and countering and surrendering animations are continuing to be worked on. So we should see some interesting behaviors coming out of AI based off of that. AI tech. They continued work on planetary pathfinding, so the NPCs will be able to, find their ways to landing zones and other outposts and stuff. They enabled NPCs to push a trolley along a path, so that's exciting news because that you should be able to see in upcoming patches. And then they started the development of the subsumption editor, or they continued the development of the subsumption editor. So that's really good news as well for some of those on-the-spot behaviors that we need for this game to feel real and alive. For the animation team, they worked on poses for existing and future assets, such as beatdowns in prison. So that's something to look forward to if you go to prison often. Subsky, I'm talking about you. Art team, they began designing cybernetics. They also finished new outfits for shopkeepers and the inhabitants of Pyro. They worked on medical gown asset and medical skeletons. Then they also continued to polish Pyro's planets and moons. Polish, that means they are pretty much done with those. They're just making them look a little better. They have some new technology which we saw in Inside Star Citizen today that will actually make the planets look even better than what they are. So that's really awesome, and can't wait to see some of the planets of Nyx. Inside Star Citizen should be a separate video, so I doubt I'll be able to get a chance to work on that, but maybe we'll be lucky and it'll be a surprise for it. They progressed with the gray box phase for the rest stops and Grim Hex medical clinics. So there should be clinics at each of those stations and at Grim Hex. Area 18 and Lorville's hospitals are approaching white box complete. So yeah, that's great news, and they'll move on from there and maybe put some more fine details in. Iterated on the creation and placement of derelict spaceships. So things like the Javelin wreck on Daymar could be getting more detail and more just built out more, but I think they're going to have a lot more derelicts across the Stanton system, and most likely many derelicts in the Pyro system. They completed the 2 size 7 bearing weapons for the Ares. Those are done. They also started the new size 3 bomb for the A2 Starlifter. Size 3 bomb. I thought they were going to have size 10s. I guess we'll have to wait and see what becomes of that. Maybe size 3 is going to be the biggest, or I don't know. Inside Star Citizen again had some pretty cool videos on bombs, but that's a whole nother thing. So art team working on ships. They released the constellation Taurus, both the Crusader Ares variants in final art stages. Those are pretty much done. The Drake Vulture continued progress through the white box phase, so it's actually, I think, in gray box now, or something like that. It's made some good progress. Work has begun on an all new vehicle, which we don't know. An upcoming variant moved into gray box. Again, something we don't know. They haven't announced what it is. A variant of an existing ship. What could it be? Anybody have any ideas out there what this variant would be? I don't know. Why would they do another variant? Maybe it's an existing ship and they're just working. I don't know. Unknown ship has had its final art damage and LODs completed. So is that the fabled 400i? Is it the Galen whatever the ship was released here, the Galen, I can't even think of the name of it, but the new Xi'an ship, was it that one? The Redeemer received a final polish pass. Awesome, that is phenomenal. I can't wait to get my hands on this and fly it with some friends. An unknown vehicle has entered gray box, so another unknown vehicle in gray box. I guess the other one up here is a variant. Yeah. The Saber's cockpit and lighting have been finished. So is that gold standard? I don't know. The Retaliator gold standard is almost complete. Another unannounced ship is deep into gray box. So that's, what, 3-4 vehicles and ships that are going through the phases right now that they haven't announced. Work began on the new fuel arm for the Starfarer. Again, something you could see inside Star Citizen. The audio team began work on Grimhex's Medical Center, and they added effects to the A2 Starlifter. So this A2 Starlifter is looking pretty good at the moment. It does have a lot of space in it, so, how many tanks can you fit in is the question. It's supposed to only be able to fit one, but it's looking like you might be able to fit more than that. We'll have to find out, cram as much stuff in there as we can, in typical Star Citizen community fashion. The community team, July had the Show Us Your Colors celebration, and they had the video contest and cosplay contest for upcoming CitizenCon announced, which I hope my org can get something going for the CitizenCon video contest. Honestly, we haven't really got anything started yet, but we really need to work on that. I think we're waiting on 3.14 to do it. Engine team, they continued transition work to Gen 12 renderer. So I know that they're quite a ways into that. That's phenomenal news. Volumetric clouds and atmospheric rendering saw improvements, mostly around Crusader. They're still tweaking that. It doesn't look perfect yet. They're still working on it, and I imagine they'll continue to work on it for a little while. And then they're going to bring it to other planets, Nebula, all of that stuff. For rendering performance, the entire filter chain that reprojects and upsamples ray marching results is being revisited. That's a lot of stuff that I don't know anything about, so I can't really talk about that too much. It sounds to me like they're going to change the way that they render some of the I guess sunlight, maybe, or the way the light reflects off the thing. I don't know. Feature team, they focused work on a new player inventory, and NPCs standing on chairs and benches should, in capital letters, be fixed with a new system. So hopefully that's taken care of and they can get rid of the cult of the chair. Work on Knickknacks, the player asset management Mobiglass app, started. Continued work on the Ninetales lockdown event. You could play some of those on the PTU, though they haven't spoiled too much of it. And then more work on HUDs and the new thruster dust VFX for 3.14. So they have more vectored thruster dust or clouds in 3.14 now. It's more realistic. Continued development on jump points. So those are coming, guys. We're going to get them before you know it. Lighting. Lots of tasks for lighting interaction on Orison. They also have improvements to personal manage apps, or improvements, yeah, that's what it says. Atmosphere and color grading for Pyro's planets and moons. So they've done some lighting on those planets. Narrative team. They worked on vendor voice packs and motion capture for vendors. They've also worked on fleshing out the Gangs of Pyro. Props team. They worked on props for medical gameplay, Colonial Outpost, and Orison. Well, you know, Orison's only in version 1. We're going to get a version 2 somewhere real quick down the road in, 3.15, I think. Systematic Services and Tools team. They further developed Quantum, related to shop prices and service beacon spawning, and they're working with the final edge cases for Super P-Cache for 3.14. Tech Animation has completed planning and support for AI combat and usables, and they improved the processing of Maya animation assets. Turbulent, they improved role-based access and Hex. More work on server meshing and more automation for fixing player inventory items. They improved the pledge store efficiency and reliability. The UI team, they worked on the UI screens for hospitals and healing. Skeletons on a UI screen, so that should be cool. They improved visuals for 3D holographic items. And then the vehicle team, they have started preparation work for first-person radar pings and added support for showing player-emitted signatures in their HUDs. Last but not least, the VFX team has overhaul of the vehicle radar ping effects and new thruster landing dust effects. So all sorts of fun information packed into there, and you know, it was a pretty good read. Maybe not as exciting as last month's, but there is some really exciting stuff that's on there as well. You know, I could go over what was inside Star Citizen in this video. Let's go ahead and touch on that. So they did some origin stories. They highlighted some of the CIG developers, specifically producers. Steph Bedford, how she started. Her proudest moment was the Nova tank. She started on it from the start and worked through the finish. She's been working on the Ares, Ion, and Inferno, and she talked a little bit about the management process of that and started to work on the Drake Vulture. They showed a brief view of the A2 turret room and bomb bay, which was exciting. Then they went on to talk about the sprint report, work on ship-to-ship refueling tech, with the initial testing working very well. Let's hope that desync doesn't come into play there, because that could cause some major issues. I can just see it now. You're pulling up to refuel, you think you're right on the money, you've got it lined up perfectly, and the guy in the back of the Starfarer says, "Hey, you're 30 meters to the right." And you're like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Yes, you are." Yeah, anyways, that could lead to some serious problems. Initial work on bombing, so how bombs behave, drop, and explode. They've worked on that. They're using missiles without the thrust right now to do the bomb behavior, so it's pretty interesting. They have intoxication effects while flying, so it delays the player inputs, and it has like a double vision effect, which is cool and uncool at the same time. You're not going to want to fly drunk. Gray box work continued on the Aegis Redeemer interior, so they're really pretty close to being done with that. And then concepts for the Crusader showroom, which will be coming in Orison version 2. It's going to be the centerpiece of everything on Orison, really, is that Crusader showroom. I mean, Crusader owns the planet, and they're going to show off all their wares. Jared went on about how he can't wait to see the Starliner in there, and he said sometime. So he didn't say soon. He just, yeah, maybe not so soon. Maybe it'll be sooner than we think. I guess we'll wait and see. And then they also talked about the work on the Planets of Nyx system and the improvements on the planet tech, creating even better landscapes, and it looked fantastic. So if you get a chance to watch Inside Star Citizen that came out today, I highly recommend it. It'll be worth your time. It's about 12-13 minutes long. Very good episode. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of other people did too, so I would definitely check that out if I were you. Thank you guys for tuning in again and watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you're interested in joining the YouTube members, you can do that. There'll be a link down below. You can also join my Patreon. All the money that you guys contribute goes a super long ways. You guys have really bailed me out on at least 3 different occasions over the last year, and I can't thank you enough. For all you guys who watch the ads all the way through and click on the ads, that really helps as well. So thank you very much for doing that. Again, I'm going to be gone for the next few days, so I really do appreciate all the love and support you guys have given. And I'm sorry I'll be gone and I don't have much in the way of videos to show for it for you guys. So hopefully you won't miss me too much, and you'll be ready to watch more videos when I get back. Thanks once again. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.